Mhm. Honorable Mr. Justice Sambhaji Shivaji Shinde, Chief Justice, Rajasthan High Court, my esteemed brother and sister judges on the bench at Jodhpur and Jaipur, Mr. Mahen Singh Singhvi, Advocate General, Rajasthan, Mr. Sunil Beniwal, Chairman, Bar Council of Rajasthan, Jodhpur, Mr. Nathu Singh Rathore, President, Rajasthan High Court Advocates Association, Jodhpur, Mr. Ravi Bhansali, President, Rajasthan High Court Lawyers Association, Jodhpur, Mrs. Nidhi Khandelwal, Vice President, Rajasthan High Court Bar Association, Jaipur, Mr. Kamal Kishore Sharma, President, the Jaipur Bar Association, Jaipur, learned senior advocates, learned members of the bar, Registrar General and officers of the registry, judicial officers, revered Madam Uma Devi Shinde, and other dignified family members, ladies and gentlemen. We have assembled today to bid heartfelt farewell to Honorable Chief Justice Shri Sambhaji Shivaji Shinde to commemorate 15 long years of his lordship as Crusader of Justice, who is untiring efforts to serve the litigants at the doorstep of the court. It is my proud privilege to express, on behalf of judicial fraternity of the state, our humble gratitude to his lordship for his utmost devotion, dedication, and commitment to cause of justice. His lordship was born on 2nd of August 1960 in a humble family of farmers and took up his schooling in Maharashtra Vidyalaya, Bansarola, District Bid, and then graduated from Yogeshwari Science College, Ambajogai in Maharashtra. His lordship then studied law and eventually graduated in law from Maharashtra University at Aurangabad. In pursuit of higher studies and specialization in various branches of law, his lordship obtained degree of Masters in Law from premier institutions, namely Pune University and Warwick University, United Kingdom. His lordship, having resolved to join noble profession, got himself enrolled as an advocate with the Bar Council of Maharashtra and Goa on 9th of April 1987 and started practice in law in the High Court of Bombay bench at Aurangabad. His lordship soon made his mark in the legal profession and was appointed as assistant government pleader and assistant public prosecutor, government of Maharashtra in the High Court of Bombay bench at Aurangabad. His lordship was then appointed as an additional government advocate in the office of government advocate to represent the state of Maharashtra in the Supreme Court of India. This indeed was recognition of merit and hard work of his lordship. In his journey upwards, his lordship worked as in charge government advocate and represented the state of Maharashtra in the Supreme Court from 16th of May 1992 and appeared in large number of important matters including special leave petitions, civil and criminal appeals, constitutional matters, and public litigations for more than 10 years, acquiring rich and varied experience in practically all branches of law. His lordship's knowledge and competence was acknowledged in his elevation as additional judge of High Court of Bombay on 17th of March 2008, followed by confirmation as a permanent judge on 13th of March 2010. His lordship served as judge of High Court of Bombay, bench at Aurangabad till 20th of February 2019, whereafter his lordship served at the principal bench at Bombay. In his capacity as senior judge, his lordship worked as executive chairman, the State Legal Services Authority for Union Territory of Dadra and Nagar Haveli and Daman and Diu since March 2020. Under dynamic leadership of his lordship, legal services in Maharashtra achieved unprecedented heights to serve downtrodden and needy people, making access to justice for all a reality. His Lordship held important positions as chairman and member in various administrative committees of the High Court of Bombay. His Lordship was appointed as the Chief Justice of Rajasthan High Court with effect from 21st of June 2022. His Lordship is remitting his office as Chief Justice of Rajasthan High Court today after long 15 years as champion of cause of justice, an illustrious and meaningful journey as Judge of the High Court of Bombay and then as Chief Justice of Rajasthan High Court, maintaining throughout highest standards of purity and probity in public life, great qualities of moral values, ethics of profession in discharge of his duties and functions. Disposal of more than 33,800 cases, including 1,400 landmark judgments reported in law journals, bear testimony to his Lordship's hard work and relentless efforts to reach injustice wherever found and to protect life and liberty of citizens. These landmark opinions, ranging from civil, criminal, constitutional, service, family matters, and to many diverse jurisdictions, reflect his Lordship's in-depth knowledge of law and legal principles, first and fundamental principles of law, sensitivity to cause at hand, and justice-oriented approach, overcoming all technicalities. Out of long list of landmark judgments, time constant allows me to mention only a few of them. In the state of Maharashtra versus Anil, his Lordship, while upholding conviction, considered the principle of rarest of rare case, delving deep into various judicial pronouncements to hold that previous pending cases could not be used as aggravating circumstances against the accused, thereby imposing life sentence in place of death sentence. In the state of Maharashtra and others versus Yuvraj Kashinath Sable and others, his Lordship set aside the conviction, holding that circumstances taken together cumulatively do not form chain so complete that there is no escape from the conclusion that within all human probabilities that the crime was committed by the accused and none else. His Lordship interpreted scope and ambit of Section 106 of the Evidence Act. It was held, and I quote, legal principles are not magic incantations, and their importance lies more in their applications to a given set of facts than in their recital in the judgment. Unquote. In Balaji and others versus State of Maharashtra and others, his Lordship, interpreting constitutional spirit of fundamental right to education under Article 21 capital A and various provisions of Right to Education Act, authoritatively pronounced that the state is under obligation to formulate permanent policy document, create permanent infrastructure, as also appointments on permanent basis. In a landmark order in Sanjay Bhaskar Rao Kale versus State of Maharashtra and others, the classic example of judicial activism in quick response to communities' crying need of drinking water, his Lordship issued directions for reduction in supply of water to industries, breweries, distilleries, so as to ensure availability of water in areas suffering from severe drought situation and acute scarcity of water. Entertaining a public interest litigation in Vijay Lakshman Rao Dak and others versus Union of India and others, his Lordship interpreted various provisions of Air Prevention and Control of Pollution Act 1981, issuing directions regarding waste management in larger public interest to obviate risk to human life as also protection of animal, birds, etc. In another landmark judgment in P.V. Varvara Rao versus National Investigating Agency and others, his Lordship held that an accused in custody can invoke Article 21 of the Constitution of India to seek his release on the ground that his continued incarceration is incompatible with his health condition and it would amount to endangering his life. Not only in the legal fraternity, but also amongst all the stakeholders, his Lordship's qualities as human being, as judge, as companion, and as patron of the state judiciary set up an example of what a judge ought to be. His utmost humility, simplicity, respect to one and all alike, concern and compassion for everyone associated with him, whether it be a judge or an employee in the lowest rung, add gravity and greatness to his persona. These qualities have won him only admirers, not only in his home state of Maharashtra, but in Delhi and Rajasthan also. I myself being one of them, having been in his lordship's privileged company for over a decade. His lordship's commitment and hard work, working tirelessly beyond working hours, have been echoed in Parliament recently. Though his lordship's association as the Chief Justice of the High Court of Rajasthan and patron of the judiciary of Rajasthan has been short, it has made all of us realize that it is not the length, but the mutual respect, regard, and faith which makes it memorable and unforgettable. While bidding adieu, I, on behalf of my sister and brother judges on the bench, and also on my own behalf, extend best of wishes to His Lordship, respected Madam Uma Devi Shinde, and all the members of his family with the best of health, cheer, and happiness in future. Thank you.
Honorable the Chief Justice Shri Sambhaji Shivaji Shinde, Honorable Justice Shri M.M. Srivastav, Acting Chief Justice Designate, Honorable Judges of Rajasthan High Court at Jodhpur and Jaipur, Shri Sunil Beniwal, Chairman Bar Council of Rajasthan, Shri Nathu Singh Rathod, President Rajasthan High Court Advocates Association Jodhpur, Shri Ravi Bansali, President Rajasthan High Court Lawyers Association Jodhpur, Srimati Nidhi Khandelwal, Vice President Rajasthan High Court Bar Association Jaipur, Shri Kamal Kishore Sharma, President the Bar Association Jaipur, learned senior advocates, members of the Bar Council, learned members of the Bar, learned officers of the Registry and officers of the Judicial Courts, Srimati Uma Shinde, and family members of Honorable Chief Justice Shri S.S. Shinde. Ladies and gentlemen, Colin Powell said, a dream doesn't become a reality through magic. It takes sweat, determination, and hard work. This is true reflection of the personality of Honorable Chief Justice Shri S.S. Shinde, to whom we are bidding farewell on the eve of his lordship's laying down reins of his office. Justice Sambhaji Shivaji Shinde, a native of Hole in Ambajogai Tehsil of Beed district, was born on August 2, 1960. He received his law degree, obtained his law degree from Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar Marathwada University, Aurangabad. His lordship completed Masters of Law from Pune University and University of Warwick, UK. After enrolling in Maharashtra and Goa Bar Council in 1987, his lordship started practice in law in Aurangabad bench from 1989. In 1995, his lordship was appointed as Assistant Public Prosecutor. In 1997, his lordship was appointed as Additional Government Advocate for the state of Maharashtra in the Supreme Court. His lordship's illustrious career at bar and his legal acumen and dedication was recognized by then Collegium, and Justice Shinde was elevated on March 17, 2008 as Judge of Bombay High Court. His lordship served as judge in Aurangabad, Goa and Nagpur benches and in Bombay High Court. On 21st June 2022, Justice Shinde was appointed as Chief Justice of Rajasthan High Court. It is said that there is always time to do what is right and what lordship has shown in the short tenure as Chief Justice of Rajasthan High Court. His lordship has both on the judicial and administrative side taken up various tasks which are of great importance to the judiciary, the bar, as well as the state of Rajasthan. Justice Shinde is true depiction of his name, Sambhaji, which literally translates to courage. The same is seen in his approach towards his duties and attitude on and off the dais. His courageous and bold attitude is cloaked by calm and composed appearance and is a man of few yet very powerful words. His lordship is very soft spoken, gentleman, and has seldom raised his voice to the members of the bar, and we have never seen him get agitated or angered in any situation whatsoever. A great influence of his lordship is seen in the judgments rendered by my lords. Justice Shinde is true believer in sanctity of the institution and has passed judgments which uphold the principles for which the judicial institution was created. In Prakash versus State of Maharashtra, while dealing with the powers of the court under its jurisdiction, his lordship held, and I quote, "We have travelled beyond the pleadings and prayers in the petition so as to do complete justice by molding reliefs craved in the petition. Merely because the petitioner has accepted fresh appointment as Shikshan Sevak might be under compelling circumstances is no reason to ignore settled position of law and more than 5 years service rendered by him as assistant teacher on regular basis in pay scale. It would be travesty of justice if reliefs are not molded to avoid any injustice to the parties who have invoked the extraordinary jurisdiction of this court. The writ courts are not meant for mechanical interpretations, but are equipped, empowered to grant equitable and also discretionary relief in appropriate cases, depending upon the facts and law involved in such cases. Unquote. In another case of Pawan versus State of Maharashtra, His Lordship, while dealing with the writ petition against rejection of compassionate appointment, reiterated a cardinal principle of law and held that it is the basic and cardinal principle of in law that whoever approaches the court for discretionary and equitable reliefs shall approach with clean hands, disclosing all true and relevant facts. Apart from it, upon careful perusal of the reasons assigned by the Maharashtra Administrative Tribunal, which are adverted herein above, before, we do not find any reason to interfere in the interim judgment, since the reasons assigned by the tribunal are in consonance with material produced on record. The fact that petitioner and his family survived for more than 20 years from the death of father of the petitioner is an indication that there is no acute financial difficulty being faced by the family of the petitioner. In the case of Nand Kishore versus Dhule Municipal Corporation, while deciding the issue of applicability of limitation under the Limitation Act 1963 on a corporation, His Lordship held that it is true that term sufficient cause under Section 5 of the Limitation Act should receive liberal construction. However, it is equally true it must comply with concept of reasonable time and proper conduct of concerned party. In the instant case, as stated earlier, no detailed particulars are provided by the respondents. It was further held that so far as law of limitation is concerned, it cannot be made applicable differently to private citizen and to government authorities. While speaking for the division bench in the case of Bharti S. Kankar versus Maruti Govind Jadhav and others, His Lordship said the unlawful arrest of petitioner therein was in violation of provisions of Section 46 CRPC. While accepting the petition for petitioner, discussed the law laid down by the Honorable Supreme Court and held that the action of a state in not following the guidelines for arrest and held the reasoning of the state that there was multiple warrants against the petitioner to be illegal reasoning for non-compliance of the guidelines. His Lordship has the ability to understand the issues and knack to look beyond and call out actual issue involved in the matter and grant appropriate relief whenever necessary. A bare reading of His Lordship's judgment shows His Lordship is a firm believer in structure and brevity. His Lordship, though a stickler for procedure, had recently made history by being one of the courts to have held the court for over 9 hours only in order to provide relief to the parties as well as the counsels, and the steps taken by His Lordship was lauded by people from all walks of the life. His Lordship is firm believer in the strength of institution and believes that bar of judicial institution plays a pivotal role in the successful functioning of the said institution. It would not be out of place to mention His Lordship's encouragement and teaching to the younger members of the bar. Justice Shinde, while bidding farewell to the Bombay High Court, in his reference speech, mentioned that young members who are picked by the judges for elevation should take the offer, since they are the ones who will build the future of the institution. The said words reflect the belief and devotion His Lordship has towards the institution. Though our time with Justice Shinde has been very short one, and we have not been able to take complete benefit of the experience of His Lordship, yet I believe that association with His Lordship shall be ongoing and even after demitting the office. On this occasion, I will pray Almighty that Justice Shinde may have long, healthy and happy life and wish him success in all future pursuits. However, I am sure that Justice Shinde will continue to remain associated with legal fraternity of Rajasthan. I, on behalf of the state of Rajasthan and all law officers of the state, extend my best wishes to Justice Shinde and pray Almighty that Justice Shinde may have long, healthy and happy life ahead. Jai Hind.
Honorable Chief Justice Sri Sambhaji Shivaji Shinde Sahab, Honorable Justice Maninder Mohan Srivastava Sahab, Acting Chief Justice Designate, Honorable Judges of Rajasthan High Court at Principal Seat and Bench at Jaipur, Sri M.S. Singhvi Sahab, Advocate General Government of Rajasthan, Sri Nathu Singh Ji Rathod, President Rajasthan High Court Advocate Association, Sri Ravi Bansali, Senior Advocate, President Rajasthan High Court Lawyers Association, Mrs. Nidhi Khandelwal, Vice President Rajasthan High Court Bar Association Jaipur, Shri Kamal Kishore Sharma, President the Bar Association Jaipur, learned senior advocates, member bar councils, members of registry, presiding officers of the subordinate court, and members of the bar, Mrs. Sinde, family members, ladies and gentlemen. Today we have assembled here to bid a warm and sincere farewell to Honorable the Chief Justice of this court, Honorable Chief Justice Sri Sambhaji Shivaji Shinde Sahab, on account of his lordship remitting the office on attaining the age of superannuation. Sri Sambhaji Shivaji Shinde Sahab was born on 2nd of August 1960. Justice Shinde Sahab completed LLB course from Marathwada University, Aurangabad, which is now referred as Dr. Baba Saheb Ambedkar Marathwada University, and subsequently obtained LLM degree from Warwick University, United Kingdom. On 9 April 1987, Justice Shinde Sahab got enrolled as an advocate on the roll of Bar Council of Maharashtra and Goa. My Lord started practicing as advocate in November 1989 as an advocate at the High Court of Bombay bench at Aurangabad. In November 1995, Justice Shinde Sahab was appointed as Assistant Government Pleader of the Government of Maharashtra in the High Court of Bombay bench at Aurangabad. On 29th October 1997, His Lordship was appointed as an additional government advocate to represent the state of Maharashtra in the Supreme Court of India. As a government advocate, Lordships worked from 16th May 2002 and continued to represent the state of Maharashtra in the Supreme Court of India in civil as well as in criminal matters and argued cases including special leave petitions, civil appeal, criminal appeal, writ petitions, public interest litigation, transfer petition, till his elevation as a judge of the High Court of Bombay. His Lordship was elevated as additional judge of the High Court of Bombay on 17 March 2008 and was confirmed as a permanent judge on 13 March 2010. His Lordship took oath as a Chief Justice of Rajasthan High Court on 21st of June 2022 and is set to retire today. The experience of His Lordship as a Chief Justice of this court stands consolidated in strong ability to devote ample amount of time to each and every matter. But above all, most outstanding ability of His Honor has been to give a peaceful yet meaningful decision to many cases which an uncanny ability to get the parties settle the dispute fully and finally. He always believed in finding out the way to grant relief to the needy without breaking the law. I still remember meeting my lords the first time when Lordship was told that I would not deviate from the culture and tradition of this court. Shinde Sahab had further said that he would not leave any stone unturned for the betterment of the institution. Sir has also asked us to feel free to approach him at any time and had told that his chamber is always open for the lawyers. Honorable Justice Shinde Sahab served the judiciary for nearly 14 years with a great distinct, and during this period, he remained like a caretaker for the downtrodden and unrepresented litigants. As a judge, Shinde Sahab gave a patient hearing in each and every case. A few months back, while my lords were serving as a judge of the Bombay High Court, matters were heard by Lordship till 8:30 p.m. and hundreds of the matter were disposed of in a day. Not only this, Justice Shinde Sahab has presided over multiple high-stake matters, including but not limited cases like abatement to suicide case in case of Arnab Goswami, Bhima Koregaon Elgar Parishad case, Kangana Ranaut's case, and the case against former Home Minister Maharashtra Shri Anil Deshmukh. The 18th All India Legal Service Authority meet was jointly organized by the NALSA and RALSA at Jaipur on 16th and 17th July under the leadership of Justice Shinde Sahab, and it was a great success. Inaugural ceremony was attended by 15 sitting Supreme Court judges, including Honorable Chief Justice of India, Chief Justice of various High Courts across the country, Honorable Chief Minister, Honorable Union Law Minister, and all judges of the Honorable Court. Your Honor's presence outside the court was always inspiring. At any function, he would not hesitate to get up, greet and warmly shake hands with youngsters and elders alike. He gave equal treatment to juniors and seniors. God has bestowed Honorable Justice Shinde Sahab a pleasing personality and compassion for everyone. Even after adorning such a high position in the bench, he has always been courteous outside the court, humility being his hallmark of Honorable Justice Shinde's personality. A judge's life is by no means easy because too much is expected of him. But at the same time, his lordship have always been firm, prompt, while taking administrative as well as judicial decisions. I, on the behalf of Bar Council of Rajasthan and on my behalf, bid a sincere farewell to Honorable Chief Justice Sri Shinde Sahab as a Chief Justice of Rajasthan High Court. I hope that future has a great store for Honorable Chief Justice and my good wishes will always go with Honorable Chief Justice wherever Sinde Saab be. Thank you.
माननीय मुख्य न्यायाधिपति जस्टिस श्री SS शिंदे साहब, माननीय न्यायाधिपति MM श्रीवास्तव साहब, माननीय न्यायाधिपतिगण राजस्थान उच्च न्यायालय, श्रीमान महेंद्र सिंह सिंघवी साहब, महाधिवक्ता राजस्थान सरकार, श्रीमान सुनील बेनीवाल, अध्यक्ष बार काउंसिल ऑफ राजस्थान, श्रीमान रवि बंसाली जी, अध्यक्ष राजस्थान हाईकोर्ट लॉयर्स एसोसिएशन जोधपुर, मिसेज निधि खंडेलवाल, उपाध्यक्ष राजस्थान हाईकोर्ट बार एसोसिएशन जयपुर, श्रीमान कमल किशोर शर्मा, अध्यक्ष जयपुर बार एसोसिएशन जयपुर, हाईकोर्ट रजिस्ट्री के अधिकारीगण, न्यायिक अधिकारीगण, विद्वान वरिष्ठ अधिवक्ता एवं मेरे प्रिय अधिवक्ता साथियों, आज हम सभी यहाँ एकत्रित हैं। हम सभी के लिए बेहद सम्माननीय मुख्य न्यायाधिपति जस्टिस संभाजी शिवाजी शिंदे साहब की सेवानिवृत्ति के अवसर पर आपको शुभकामनाएं एवं सद्भावनाएं प्रेषित करने हेतु माननीय न्यायमूर्ति शिंदे साहब के सम्मान में मुझसे पहले काफ़ी कुछ कहा गया, लेकिन मुझे आपके संपूर्ण व्यक्तित्व के संदर्भ में ख्याति प्राप्त शायर जिगर मुरादाबादी का शेर याद आता है। वो कहते हैं, अपना ज़माना आप बनाते हैं अहले दिल, अपना ज़माना आप बनाते हैं अहले दिल, हम वो नहीं कि जिनको ज़माना बना गया। न्यायाधीश के तौर पर माननीय बॉम्बे हाईकोर्ट के सुदीर्घ सेवाओं के बाद राजस्थान को बेहद छोटे कार्यकाल के लिए आपका सानिध्य मिला, लेकिन ये कार्यकाल आपका नीतिगत निर्णय और सौम्य व्यवहार के कारण सदैव याद रखे जाने लायक बन गया। 2 अगस्त 1960 को महाराष्ट्र के एक छोटे से गांव हॉल में जन्मे न्यायमूर्ति संभाजी शिवाजी शिंदे ने ग्रामीण स्कूल में पढ़ाई शुरू की और इसके बाद में लंदन में कानून की पढ़ाई पूरी कर विधि व्यवसाय में कदम जमाए। जस्टिस शिंदे साहब अपने काम करने के तरीके के कारण हमेशा चर्चा में रहे। राजस्थान उच्च न्यायालय में स्थानांतरण के कुछ ही समय पूर्व जस्टिस शिंदे साहब ने बॉम्बे हाईकोर्ट में सामान्य कार्य समय से परे जाकर रात 8:30 बजे तक सिटिंग करते हुए आपकी अदालत में सूचीबद्ध 265 में से 215 प्रकरणों की प्रभावी सुनवाई की। इसके एक दिन पहले आपने 190 मुकदमों की प्रभावी सुनवाई की। जस्टिस शिंदे साहब के इस अंदाज की तारीफ करने से केंद्रीय कानून मंत्री किरण रिजिजू भी खुद को रोक ना सके। उन्होंने ट्वीट करके अपनी प्रसन्नता व्यक्त की। जस्टिस शिंदे साहब का यह भाव उनकी संवेदनशीलता का परिचायक है। इससे पहले भी जस्टिस शिंदे साहब अवकाश के दिन भी सुनवाई कर चुके हैं। 9 अप्रैल 1987 को वकालत के पेशे में आए जस्टिस शिंदे साहब लंबे समय तक सुप्रीम कोर्ट में महाराष्ट्र सरकार के वकील रहे। इस दौरान कई महत्वपूर्ण प्रकरणों में आपने महाराष्ट्र सरकार को राहत दिलाई। 17 मार्च 2008 को जस्टिस शिंदे साहब ने बॉम्बे हाईकोर्ट में बतौर न्यायाधीश शपथ ग्रहण की और लगभग पूरे न्यायिक जीवन बॉम्बे हाईकोर्ट में ही गुजारा। आपने 21 जून 2006 को राजस्थान हाईकोर्ट में मुख्य न्यायाधीश का पद संभाला और पुराने लंबित प्रकरणों को देखते हुए 30 साल पुराने मुकदमों को प्राथमिकता से निस्तारण करने हेतु अलग से बेंचों का गठन करने के निर्देश दिए। आपके इस प्रयास से 30 साल से पुरानी अवधि के सैकड़ों प्रकरणों का प्रभावी निस्तारण हो सका। इसके अलावा आपके सुझाव प्रयास से ही हाईकोर्ट की फुल कोर्ट की बैठक हाल ही में झुंझुनू के मंडा में आयोजित कर जमीनी स्तर पर काम करने वाली अदालतों की हालत जानने का प्रयास किया गया। माननीय बॉम्बे उच्च न्यायालय के अतिरिक्त न्यायाधीश के पद से शुरू हुई ये यात्रा आज राजस्थान उच्च न्यायालय के मुख्य न्यायाधिपति के पद पर आकर अपनी पूर्णता की ओर है। माननीय मुख्य न्यायाधिपति शिंदे साहब ने तकरीबन 14 साल तक बतौर न्यायाधीश जनता के दुख दर्द को समझा और इसे निवारण करने का मनोयोग से प्रयास किया है। माननीय न्यायमूर्ति शिंदे साहब ने मानवीय मूल्यों एवं संवैधानिक मर्यादाओं को विधिक सीमाओं में बांधकर न्यायिक निर्णयों के माध्यम से सामाजिक व्यवस्था में प्रथम से अंतिम छोर तक के फरियादी को न्याय पहुंचाने के अपने पुनीत कर्तव्य में कहीं कोई कमी नहीं रखी। विभिन्न विधिक जर्नल्स में प्रकाशित अपने सैकड़ों निर्णय जो आज नजीर के तौर पर इस्तेमाल किए जाते हैं, मेरे इस कथन की तायीद करने के लिए काफी है। आपके राजस्थान स्थानांतरण के आपके पहली बार जोधपुर पधारने पर मैंने एसोसिएशन की ओर से आपसे वकीलों की विभिन्न समस्याओं को लेकर प्रतिवेदन प्रस्तुत किया, जो आपने अत्यंत सकारात्मक रूप रखते हुए उन्हें जल्द से जल्द निस्तारण करवाने का न सिर्फ आश्वासन दिया, बल्कि उसी क्षण संबंधित अधिकारियों को निर्देश देकर अपनी सदाशयता भी अभिव्यक्त की। मैंने वकीलों की हर मांग और मुद्दे पर आपसे पॉजिटिव रिस्पॉन्स ही पाया है। मुख्य न्यायाधीश महोदय हमारे न्यायालय की संरचना में सबसे प्रमुख मुखिया और पितृ पुरुष होता है। मैं पूरी जिम्मेदारी के साथ ये कह सकता हूं कि आपने अपने छोटे से कार्यकाल में भी इस उत्तरदायित्व को न सिर्फ बखूबी निभाया बल्कि यह उदाहरण भी कायम किया है कि टेन्योर यानी कार्यकाल का छोटा या बड़ा होना महत्वपूर्ण नहीं है। महत्व है तो कार्य करने वाले व्यक्ति के भाव का, इच्छा शक्ति का और कर्म योग का। मैं व्यक्तिगत रूप से मेरी पूरी बार की ओर से आपको इसके लिए हृदय से साधुवाद करता हूं। आज आपकी सेवानिवृत्ति के अवसर पर मैं अपनी ओर से राजस्थान हाईकोर्ट एडवोकेट एसोसिएशन की ओर से आपके सदैव स्वास्थ्य एवं सुखद भविष्य के लिए सद्भावना करता हूं। आज जब आप न्यायाधीश की जिम्मेदारी को छोड़कर जीवन का नया अध्याय प्रारंभ करने जा रहे हैं, तब मैं परमपिता परमेश्वर से प्रार्थना करता हूं कि कल का सूरज आपके जिंदगी में यश कीर्ति का नया उज्जवल सवेरा लेकर आए और आपने अपने भविष्य को लेकर जितने भी स्वप्न सोचे हैं वे सभी शीघ्र ही साकार हो जाए। बतौर मुख्य न्यायाधीश आपका ये अल्प किंतु गरिमामय कार्यकाल जोधपुर एवं राजस्थान के अधिवक्ताओं, न्यायाधीशों, न्यायिक अधिकारियों और जनता के हृदय पटल पर सदैव अमिट रहेगा। हम सभी की ओर से आपको, आपके पूरी परिवार एवं स्वजनों को खूब खूब शुभकामनाएं।
My Lord, Honorable the Chief Justice S.S. Shinde Sahab, Honorable Justice M.M. Srivastava Sahab, Honorable Judges of the Rajasthan High Court, Mr. M.S. Singhvi, Advocate General for Rajasthan, Shri Sunil Beniwal, Chairman Bar Council of Rajasthan, Shri Nathu Singh Ji Rathod, President Rajasthan High Court Advocate Association, Shrimati Nidhi Khandelwal, Vice President Rajasthan High Court Bar Association Jaipur, Shri Kamal Kishore Sharma, President the Jaipur Bar Association Jaipur, learned senior advocates and officers of the registry, learned members of the bar, learned officers of the subordinate court, august gathering assembled here. We have assembled here to pay a warm and sincere farewell to Honorable Chief Justice of this court, Honorable Justice S.S. Shinde. Sir, today I wanted to take a moment and seize the opportunity of expressing my heartfelt gratitude to my Lord the Chief Justice, who enlightened us with his scholarly expertise, and my Lord Honorable Chief Justice has been with us in Rajasthan for just over 41 days. But in this short span of time, through his simplicity, he has enriched all of us. Details of his life and stage and positions held by your lordships has already been stated by Mr. Singhvi, Mr. Beniwal, and Mr. Rathod. Hence, I need not to repeat the same. It is nearly impossible to capture his lordship's majesty over law in the short span of time, but his lordship has been blessed with an incredibly brilliant legal acumen, which has been honed by the years of hard work and dedication. The manner in which his lordship conducted the courtroom proceedings is a testimony to his calm temperament, his lordship's judgment. There is an unmistakable imprint of human touch, particularly towards the unprivileged section of the societies. Fast forward to 2008, Honorable Justice Shinde was elevated as an additional judge of the Bombay High Court and subsequently became the permanent judge on 13/3/2010. His Lordship was elevated as the Chief Justice of this court on 21st June 2022. His Lordship has always nurtured institution with the deep care, and the same was the case at Rajasthan High Court. There is no even an iota of doubt that the legal fraternity of Rajasthan feels honored that his Lordship served as the Chief Justice at our High Court. The drive initiated by your Lordships of disposal of the old cases will be very beneficial for the litigant as well as for the young lawyers. The litigants will be able to get the justice, and on the other hand, the young lawyers will get an opportunity to argue the hearing cases. Somebody asked the Albert Einstein to tell what is the theory of relativity and was all about. He explained the simple terms, I quote, "Put your hand on a hot stove for a minute and it seems like an hour. Sit with someone whom you like for an hour and it seems like a minute. That is relativity." My Lord, the Chief Justice would agree that both the bar and bench welcomed him with the open arms and with the genuine warmth. My Lord, the Chief Justice also with equal warmth showered his love and blessings to one and all and won the hearts of members of the bar and members of the bench as well. In short span of time, your Lordship, the Chief Justice, has been a judge and a role model for whom we look up for his dedication, determination, and discipline. Show cause through diligence and ensures his justice. His passiveness and excellence is appreciated and respected by the bench and the bar alike. I sincerely pray that Almighty God continue to grant you and your family sound health and happiness. I, on behalf of myself and on behalf of the Rajasthan High Court Lawyers Association, wish you a very healthy, happy life after retirement while wishing you all the success in the future endeavors. Thank you. Bye.
Respected judges, Honorable Rajasthan High Court, Honorable the Chief Justice, Honorable Shri Justice M.M. Srivastav Sahib, Learned Advocate General Shri M.S. Singhvi Sahab, Shri Sunil Beniwal ji, Chairman Bar Council of Rajasthan, Shri Nathu Singh ji Rathod, President the Rajasthan High Court Advocates Association, Shri Ravi Bansali, President Rajasthan High Court Advocates Lawyers Association Jodhpur, Shri Kamal Kishore Sharma ji, President the Bar Association Jaipur, respected and dear members of the Rajasthan High Court Bar Association Jaipur and Jodhpur, and the member of registry, we have assembled today on the farewell occasion of our cheerful, ever smiling Honorable the Chief Justice Shri S.S. Shinde Sahib, who is very short span of tenure left imprint on our fraternity, which is unforgettable. Your Lordships was appointed as an additional judge of High Court of Bombay on 17th March 2008 and confirmed as permanent judge on 13th March 2010. Thereafter took oath as a Chief Justice of Rajasthan High Court on 21st June 2022. Your Lordship, you have embraced and honored the state of Rajasthan as a Chief Justice of Rajasthan High Court. Your Lordship has completed his LLB from Marathwada University, now Dr. Baba Saheb Ambedkar Marathwada University as Aurangabad, obtained LLM degree from Pune University and from Warwick University, United Kingdom. Your Lordship was enrolled on 9th April 1987 as an advocate on the roll of the Bar Council of the Maharashtra and Goa, and started practice as an advocate in the High Court of Bombay branch at Aurangabad in November 1989. Your Lordship was appointed as an additional government pleader, additional public prosecutor of Government of Maharashtra in the High Court of Bombay branch at Aurangabad in November 1995. Thereafter, on 29th October 1997, was appointed as an additional government advocate in the office of the government advocate to represent the state of Maharashtra in the Supreme Court of India at New Delhi. Your Lordship, as in charge government advocate, worked from 16th May 2002 to represent the state of Maharashtra in the Supreme Court of India at New Delhi in civil as well as in criminal matters, and argued so many historical cases including special leave petitions, civil appeals, criminal appeals, writ petitions, public interest litigation, and transfer petition, etc., till elevation as a judge of High Court of Bombay. Your Lordship, in the very short span of time as a Chief Justice of Rajasthan High Court, you have decided number of petitions with your professional experience with the rule of equity and by adopting principle of natural justice. My Lord, you have shown your interest in the social service by delivering a number of judgment and issuing the notices in public interest litigation recently in Kunal versus State of Rajasthan DV Civil Writ Petition number 9941/2022. Your Lordship has issued the notices on PIL for compulsory sex education in school, as well as issue notices on PIL requiring state to deposit central government grants in nationalized bank only, as well as has shown interest to prevent child labor on a PIL to institution rescue and rehabilitation mechanism. Notably, Your Lordship, you have left a deep impression in the heart of the member of the bar with your sincere concern to the sensitive and burning issues through the judgments. Your Lordship, I am lucky enough to had a chance to meet with Your Lordship. My Lord, appreciate the Rajasthani culture, art and craft cuisine of Rajasthan, particularly the embracing and welcome words like Khama Ghadi and Hukum, and had appreciated and overwhelmed with the manner of greeting and warm welcome resident of the Rajasthan. Further, had appreciated the working style and presentation of the members of the Rajasthan High Court Bar Association Jaipur with open-hearted and shown sincere concern about performance of female lawyers and their outstanding presentation before the court. I am grateful to the President Shri Bhuvnesh Sharma ji, General Secretary Shri Giriraj Prasad Sharma ji to allow me and to address on the graceful occasion. Kindly accept our best wishes and we pray the Almighty God to grant him longevity, good health and happiness, and an active and fulfilling next chapter. I, on behalf of Rajasthan High Court Bar Association, Jaipur, wish all the best to the Honorable Chief Justice Shri S.S. Sindhe Sahib and his family members, and as pray may the Almighty God continue to bless him for the rest of his life.
माननीय मुख्य न्यायाधिपति श्री एस शिंदे साहब, माननीय न्यायाधिपति श्री MM श्रीवास्तव साहब, उपस्थित माननीय न्यायाधिपतिगण, राजस्थान उच्च न्यायालय जोधपुर एवं जयपुर पीठ, श्रीमान SS सिंघवी साहब महाधिवक्ता राजस्थान सरकार, श्रीमान सुनील बेनीवाल चेयरमैन बार काउंसिल ऑफ राजस्थान, श्रीमती निधि खंडेलवाल उपाध्यक्ष राजस्थान हाईकोर्ट बार एसोसिएशन जयपुर, श्री नाथू सिंह राठौड़ अध्यक्ष राजस्थान हाईकोर्ट एडवोकेट्स एसोसिएशन जोधपुर, श्री रवि भंसाली अध्यक्ष राजस्थान हाईकोर्ट लॉयर्स एसोसिएशन जोधपुर, श्रीमान वरिष्ठ अधिवक्तागण राजस्थान हाईकोर्ट जोधपुर व जयपुर पीठ, रजिस्ट्री के सदस्यगण, बार एसोसिएशन के उपस्थित सम्मानित सदस्यगण, आज ये सभा माननीय मुख्य न्यायाधिपति श्री SS शिंदे साहब के सेवानिवृत्ति पर विदाई के अवसर पर आहूत की गई है। माननीय मुख्य न्यायाधिपति श्री SS शिंदे साहब का जन्म 2 अगस्त 1960 को हुआ। आपने डॉक्टर बाबा साहब अम्बेडकर मराठवाड़ा यूनिवर्सिटी, तत्कालीन मराठवाड़ा यूनिवर्सिटी औरंगाबाद से BSc LLB की उपाधि प्राप्त की। उसके पश्चात आपने पुणे यूनिवर्सिटी एवं वार्विक यूनिवर्सिटी UK से LLM की डिग्री प्राप्त की। उसके उपरांत आपने वर्ष 1987 में बार काउंसिल ऑफ महाराष्ट्र एवं गोवा में अधिवक्ता के रूप में पंजीकरण करवाया तथा बॉम्बे हाई कोर्ट तथा औरंगाबाद पीठ में नियमित वकालत करने लगे। वकालत के दौरान आपको वर्ष 1995 में बॉम्बे हाई कोर्ट में एडिशनल पब्लिक प्रोसिक्यूटर तथा 29 अक्टूबर 1997 को आपको माननीय सर्वोच्च न्यायालय महाराष्ट्र सरकार की ओर से पैरवी हेतु अतिरिक्त राजकीय अधिवक्ता नियुक्त किया गया। 17 मार्च 2008 को बॉम्बे उच्च न्यायालय में माननीय को अतिरिक्त न्यायाधिपति के रूप में मनोनीत किया गया तथा दिनांक 13 मार्च 2010 को माननीय को स्थायी न्यायाधिपति के रूप में नियुक्त किया गया। 21 जून 2022 को आपको माननीय राजस्थान उच्च न्यायालय मुख्य न्यायाधिपति के रूप में नियुक्त किया गया। आपके न्याय निर्णयों ने विधि के कई सिद्धांत स्थापित किए हैं एवं आपके न्याय निर्णयों को अधीनस्थ न्यायालयों एवं उच्च न्यायालयों में निर्णय करने के संदर्भ में वरीयता प्रदान की जाती रही है और आगे भी की जाती रहेगी। आज आपकी सेवानिवृत्ति के उपरांत विदाई के अवसर पर दी बार एसोसिएशन जयपुर का प्रत्येक सदस्य भावुक है। राजस्थान में आपके अल्प सेवा काल में बार एवं बेंच के मध्य सदैव मधुर संबंध रहे, जिसके लिए मैं दी बार एसोसिएशन जयपुर की ओर से आपका विशेष आभार प्रकट करता हूं। आपने हमेशा इस ओर प्रयास किया कि न्यायालय पक्षकारों के लिए बने हैं और पक्षकार हित ही सर्वोपरि है। अंत में आपके सेवानिवृत्ति के अवसर पर मैं अपनी एवं दी बार एसोसिएशन जयपुर की ओर से परमपिता परमेश्वर से आपके दीर्घायु जीवन एवं भावी जीवन में स्वस्थ जीवन की कामना करता हूं एवं विश्वास है कि न्याय जगत को आपका मिल रहा सहयोग भविष्य में भी निरंतर मिलता रहेगा। ऐसी हमारी कामना ही नहीं, हमें पूर्ण विश्वास है कि आप अपने सेवानिवृत्ति के उपरांत भी हमें मार्गदर्शन में अपना सानिध्य प्रदान करते रहेंगे। आपके उज्जवल भविष्य के लिए बहुत सारी शुभकामनाएं। धन्यवाद।
Honorable Mr. Justice MM Srivastava, Acting Chief Justice Designate, Justice Sandeep Mehta, Senior Administrative Judge at Principal Seat, other my esteemed brother judges who are part of the Administrative Committee, my esteemed sister and brothers at Jodhpur and Jaipur, Sri MS Singhvi, Learned Advocate General and his entire team, Sri Sunil Beniwal, Chairman, Bar Council of Rajasthan and other members of Bar Council of Rajasthan, Sri Nathu Singh Rathore, President, Rajasthan High Court Advocates Association, Jodhpur, and other office bearers of said association, Sri Ravi Bansali, President, Rajasthan High Court Lawyers Association, Jodhpur, and other office bearers of said association, Mrs. Nidhi Khandelwal, Vice President, Rajasthan High Court Bar Association, Jaipur, and other office bearers of said association, Sri Kamal Kishore Sharma, President, Jaipur Bar Association, Jaipur, and other office bearers of said association, learned senior advocates, learned members of the bar, members of judicial service, and officers of the registry, respected Babijis present here, some PS and PAs who have come from Aurangabad specially to attend this today's farewell ceremony. My wife and daughter who are present here. Today, after rendering more than 14 years of service to the Temple of Justice, I would be retiring as Chief Justice with utmost satisfaction, as whatever I did, it was for betterment of the judiciary, living like a hermit and working like a horse. At the outset, I am extremely grateful and feel honored for the kind and humble words spoken so highly with magnanimity and generosity, highlighting my performance, virtues, and abilities with extra glitter. I sincerely convey my gratitude and heartiest thanks to the speakers for the compliments and sentiments expressed so graciously and benevolently. Rajasthan, the land of the kingdom, is the largest state of India by area and is synonymous to heroism, royalty, and honor. It is blessed with unique, vibrant culture, colorful regions, stunning palaces, massive forts, monuments, lakes, deserts, wildlife sanctuaries, and warm people. From its royalty oozing cities to vibrant festivals, underlining its lively cultures, Rajasthan is a dream destination of every human being seeking a luxurious experience. Rajasthan, in fact, is the priceless jewel in the crown of India. Saying Kammagani has the beauty which never betrays, and it is deeply rooted in humility and Rajasthan's culture of hospitality. Padaro Mare Desh means to welcome to our land and invites to unravel its opulence and unbeatable grandeur. Jaipur, which is renowned as Pink City, is the capital of Rajasthan, and Jodhpur, which is popularly known as Sun City, is the capital of the Rajasthan judiciary. I had heard about the hospitality of the gracious people of Rajasthan in general and Jodhpur and Jaipur in particular, and Almighty provided me a chance to experience it. When I came here as Chief Justice, I was extended a warm, graceful, and affectionate welcome. I was deeply touched and overwhelmed by the humbleness, submissiveness, and kindness shown by all persons whom I met. I will never ever forget such kind of hospitality. With the blessings of God, my grandfather, who was devotee of Lord Vittala, my parents, and best wishes of the persons associated with the legal profession and common citizens of the state of Maharashtra and Goa and state of Rajasthan, and due to my devotion in profession, I became the judge of the Bombay High Court on 17 March 2008 and thereafter was appointed as the Chief Justice of the Rajasthan High Court on 21st June 2022. Maharashtra, a land of Marathas and Marathi-speaking people and wealthiest state, is one of India's largest commercial and industrial centers, which has led to its being called the Gateway of India. It has a long history of Marathi saints in the Warkari religious movement like Naneshwar, Namdev, Chokamela, Eknath, and Tukaram, which was the foundation of Maharashtra or Marathi culture. Maharashtra is naturally a beautiful, lively place with the Arabian Sea on its western coast and its dominant physical features divide it into three distinct regions: the Konkan coast, the mountainous Sahyadri Range, and the Deccan Plateau. The state is home to 4 UNESCO World Heritage Sites, Ajanta, Ellora, and Elephanta Caves, and the Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj Terminus, formerly called Victoria Terminus. The state comprises of many well-known destinations, from the blur of lights, that is Mumbai, to the historic city, that is Kolhapur. Great legends like Raja Shiv Chhatrapati, Mahatma Jyotiba Phule, Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, Shahu Maharaj, Bal Gangadhar Tilak, Gopal Krishna Gokhale were born here. Some of the temples are over 1,000-year old. Amongst others, most important temples are Lord Vittala at Pandharpur, Shirdi Sai Baba, Ashtavinayak Temple of Lord Ganesha, and Jyotirlingas, Bhimashankar, Trimbakeshwar, and Grashneshwar. Mumbai, which is one of the most populous and cosmopolitan and biggest cities of Maharashtra and India, as well as and popular as the entertainment and financial capital, is fondly called as the city of dreams or Mayanagri. It is also a city with strong historical links, wonderful British architecture, museums, beaches, place of worship, etc. Aurangabad, which is a popular tourism hub, is known as City of Gates. Nagpur, which is a tiger capital of India and sub-capital or winter capital of Maharashtra, is also known as Orange City of India. Pune holds the status of the cultural capital of Maharashtra. It is bastion of Maharashtra culture and hosts amazing aesthetic festivals like Ganesh Chaturthi and Jalmashtami. The famous Dagdushet Ganpati temple in the city is one of the most popular religious places in India. It is widely regarded to be the second major IT hub and the most important automobile and manufacturing hub in India. Jalgaon and other adjoining districts are famous for production of banana, and Nashik is famous for grapes and is also known as the grape capital of India. Alfonso mangoes of Ratnagiri is very famous across the country. It is renowned for production of mangoes called Hapus. Marathwada is renowned for Keshar mango. Mahabaleshwar, which is hill station, is famous for strawberries. Goa, which is renowned as the Pearl of the Orient and tourist paradise, is located in India's coastal belt on the western called the Konkan coast. Its territory is bathed by 2 great rivers, namely the Mandovi and Zohari. It has an alarming scenic beauty. The real essence of Goa lies in its rich history, unique culture, and the original natural beauty. There is a traditional mixture of Portuguese and Goa, which offers a unique feature to witness a pure blend of Portuguese and Goan culture in architecture of villas, forts, houses, and churches. It is noteworthy that Bombay High Court, which is one of the 3 high courts in India, established at the presidency towns by latest patent granted by Queen Victoria, enjoys high esteem, reverence, and prominent place in the Indian judiciary. The multi-talented and versatile personalities like Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel, Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, N.A. Palkhiwala, and even Mahatma Gandhi practiced law in Bombay High Court at some point or other. A galaxy of eminent legal luminaries were produced by the bar and bench, who not only adorned the Bombay High Court but became Chief Justices of various High Courts, judges of the Supreme Court of India, and even Chief Justice of India. It is really a matter of pride for me to be appointed as the judge of such a premier institution, which in fact is my legal Janmabhoomi. As a judge of the Bombay High Court, I shared the division benches with various Chief Justices and senior-most puisne judges, who were symbol of commitment, humility, wisdom, erudition, monumental patience, and uprightness, and sitting with such a great visionary, towering personality, and legal wizard, I have learned a lot. Apart from sitting singly, I also presided over the division benches and full benches, besides being part of some of the full benches. All my batchmates provided me immense strength and courage in performing my duties. On this occasion, I respectfully remember them and convey my heartiest thanks to them for extending their fullest support, assistance, and cooperation in discharging my judicial functions smoothly and efficiently. During the span of more than 14 years in the justice delivery system, I have seen the joys and pains in the eyes of litigants who reach the court in search of justice, which may be delayed but never denied. I always treated the court as a temple of justice and discharged my pious duties to the best of my abilities and responsibilities, maintaining high standards, discipline, and decorum in the court. I feel pleasure in saying that in our court, no litigant has ever gone saying that justice has not been done. Rather, even the losing side used to say that real and complete justice has been done. I always administered justice, keeping in mind the judge's prayer, give me grace to hear patiently, to consider diligently, to understand rightly, and to decide justly. Grant me due sense of humility, that I may not be misled by my willfulness, vanity, or egoism. Besides protecting constitutional values and upholding judicial independence and rule of law, my endeavor has always been to ensure speedy justice to all, especially downtrodden, underprivileged, and weaker sections of the society, so that the faith and confidence of the public in judiciary is greatly enhanced. In this perspective, I used to often sit in court beyond court working hours, sometimes till 8:30 p.m. or exceptionally till 9 p.m. This was only possible with the support and cooperation of my bench partners, the members of the bar, which was vibrant and strong, having been equipped with so many able, competent, diligent, proficient, cooperative, and eminent lawyers, and my staff members who tirelessly work to assist me. Coming to the Rajasthan judiciary, it is worthwhile to mention here that Rajasthan High Court, since its establishment, has produced umpteen number of distinguished legal luminaries, both on the bench and the bar, who have rendered meritorious and commendable services to serve the cause of justice and to develop jurisprudence. It is enjoying a very high position in the hierarchy of the high courts in the country. Its reputation and prestige is the fruit of the dedication, sincerity, and perseverance of those great lawyers and judges who have practiced and advanced the cause of justice. Adorning such a prestigious institution as its head is a matter of great honor conferred on me. During my tenure spanning about 42 days, I presided over the division benches on civil and criminal side, both at the principal seat at Jodhpur and the bench at Jaipur. It was a glorious and dignified moment for me to preside over the division benches as Chief Justice in the newly constructed High Court building, equipped with all modern amenities and technologies, and looks very beautiful, amazing, attractive, unique, and stupendous. The manner in which it is designed and constructed displays a classic grandeur and dignity for the state's highest court. Whosoever enters the building will certainly realize that it is the symbol of majesty of law and umbrella of shelter. The building of the High Court at Jaipur bench is also magnificent and equipped with all the latest and modern infrastructure and technical facilities, including spacious courtrooms. There is a museum in the old High Court building showcasing important material, including Constitution, original judgments, brief life sketches of the Chief Justices, and statues of judges who were elevated to the Supreme Court. Besides deciding a number of civil and criminal cases in a short span of time, I visited Nathdwara and Kumbhalgarh court premises and upon interaction with the judicial officers and president of the Bar Association, I found that relationship between the bar and bench was cordial. I also got the opportunity of doing plantation in the court premises of North Gora. On being asked, the judicial officers assured that special attention will be paid on reduction of pendency and old cases would be heard and decided on priority basis. I may point out here that in the High Court, I have constituted as many as 8 benches for hearing of 30 years old appeals, numbering about 622, more than 500 criminal and about 100 civil cases. And such benches shall continue to work till the disposal of such appeals. I am happy to share that some of old cases have been disposed of by various benches, including the bench presided over by me. On 16th and 17th July 2022, the 18th All India Meet of State Legal Service Authorities was successfully organized at Jaipur under the aegis and guidance of National Legal Service Authority. The meet was inaugurated by Honorable Chief Justice of India and graced by 14 judges of Supreme Court, 20 Chief Justices, and 60 judges of various high courts and other delegates. Union Law Minister, Minister of State Law, Government of India, and Chief Minister of State of Rajasthan. The meet yielded desired fruitful results for accomplishment of various legal aid schemes and programs to ensure and fulfill the vision and goal of free legal aid and access to justice for all, especially poor and weaker sections of the society. Action plan was also prepared by the Rajasthan State Legal Service Authority to accomplish the said vision. A meeting of the Administrative Committee presided over by me was held on 6 July 2022, in which many important decisions in the interest of administration were taken, including transfers and posting of judicial officers and for providing benefits to the staff members. A full court meeting in congregation presided over by me was held on 30th July 2022 at Mandawa, in which various resolutions were passed for betterment of the institution. In the discharge of my duties as a Chief Justice on judicial as well as administrative side, I was lucky and fortunate enough to receive full support and cooperation from the brother and sister judges. It was a pleasure to work with them. Apart from doing judicial work, they have also shown keen interest and commitment in performing the administrative works assigned to them. Their esteemed views and valuable guidance helped me to a great extent in deciding complex issues. I shall always remain grateful to them for extending their full cooperation, assistance, encouragement, and excellent services. I may point out here that legal profession is a noble one. Since the lawyers possess skill in law besides holding in-depth knowledge in other fields, they are glorified with the title learned. I may quote here the 7 lamps of advocacy described by Sir Edward Abbott Perry, a British judge, namely honesty, courage, industry, wit, eloquence, judgment, and fellowship. The lawyers should keep in mind these lamps for becoming successful in the legal profession. Being the officer of the court, the lawyers are part and parcel of the administration of justice. Bench and bar are two inextricable wings of the judicial system. They both sink and rise together. One's success is the success of the other, and one's failure is the failure of other. To promote the cause of justice, it is essential that both must work together. While holding court proceedings, I found the members of the bar of Jodhpur and Jaipur to be very submissive, diligent, intellectual, cooperative, and supportive. They assisted me immensely in imparting justice, and without their able assistance, I would not have decided the cases with ease and in a healthy atmosphere. The bars of Jodhpur and Jaipur are reservoir of galaxy of competent, intellectual, skilled, and eminent lawyers. I sincerely express my thanks to the members of the bar for extending support and cooperation in the dispensation of justice. I wish that the bars, which are full of distinguished and eminent jurists, will continue to shine and flourish and make a mark in the Indian judiciary. The district judiciary of Rajasthan is held in high esteem and enjoying a good reputation and prominent position in the country. Despite various difficulties such as shortage of staff and lack of infrastructures, the judicial officers are serving with commitment and dedication and giving their best so as to reduce pendency and produce extremely good results, thereby increasing the faith of people in the judiciary. The registry of the High Court is also very competent and responsive. Due to the paucity of time, it would not be possible for me to mention the names of each and every officer of the registry, but I shall remain grateful to all of them, especially Registrar General, Registrar cum Principal Secretary, to the Chief Justice, Registrar Administration and Registrar Judicial for rendering valuable and praiseworthy services. I place on record the noteworthy and commendable services rendered by my former personal staff at Bombay, Aurangabad and Nagpur, and present personal staff attached in court and residents at Jodhpur and Jaipur. Their assistance was of immense help in discharging my duties as judge and chief justice with ease. I was also impressed by the protocol services provided to me, my family members, and other guests who arrived in Rajasthan. My parents always taught me to be disciplined, generous, humble, and compassionate while discharging whatever duties assigned, and their inspiration, guidance, and encouragement are the foundation for my entire career, and with their grace and blessings, I attended this position of eminence. My wife, Uma, shouldered the entire responsibility of managing the family effectively, as I was not having sufficient time to pay attention towards my family on account of the onerous duties attached with the office of the judge. I got fullest support from my wife and daughter, Miss Rutuja, and other family members who never interfered with my judicial functions. I am successful in my journey because of fullest cooperation of my esteemed sister and brother judges in the Bombay High Court and Rajasthan High Court, all bar members and their associations, officers and employees of the registry of both high courts, and also the judicial officers and employees in entire state judiciary, and above all, the wishes of citizens of state of Maharashtra and Goa and state of Rajasthan. Before concluding, I may state here that no person is perfect. I am no exception. I always strive to be calm in my duties. If at all, at any point of time, I was harsh to any advocate, especially young advocates, I can only say that I did it in the interest of institution and not otherwise. My sincere apology if I have hurt anybody, even remotely. I, along with my family, cheerfully take leave from you, treasuring the sweet and fond memories of this High Court and the experience and wealth of knowledge gained here. It is now the time to say goodbye, but I think goodbyes are sad, and I would much rather say hello. Hello to a new adventure. Thank you very much to all.